USC Football's next opponent, Illinois, suffered a historic loss last Saturday. We'll walk you through our keys to the game to beat the Fighting Illini. Stay tuned for a preview of the USC men's and women's basketball squads for this upcoming season. And Clayton Kershaw just announced his retirement. We'll discuss the impact he had on this city. All that and more coming up next on Sports Scene. Welcome to the season premiere of Sports Scene. I'm Nolan Ezett.
And I'm Adam Ukazoglu.
21st ranked USC football hits the road to take on number 23 Illinois this Saturday at 9 a.m. Pacific time. Illinois was ranked 9th in the nation before getting demolished by Midwestern Big Ten foe Indiana. The Fighting Illini cemented themselves into the history books with a 63-10 loss last weekend, the biggest margin of defeat by a top 10 team against a non-top 10 squad. Illinois couldn't stop a fly over in Bloomington. Hoosiers quarterback Fernando Mendoza threw 5 touchdowns and just 2 incompletions all day. And the rushing game, well, 312 total yards on the ground and 3 scores. The plethora of running backs found a hole on every attempt. Meanwhile, Illinois found itself in the end zone just once all game.
At a loss for words, I mean, I've never been a part of anything like that. The thing that jumped out to me as we began to unfold in the second half was we just didn't have answers for what they were doing, and they kept pouring it on, which was exactly what they should do. So,
well, this matchup certainly showed us that USC's next opponent is very, very beatable. Adam, I'll start with you. How does that matchup and final score change your expectations for USC?
Yeah, well, it just baffled me that a top 10 team on the road goes and loses 63-10, and it was certainly interesting, and it does show how they are very beatable. But what really worries me for this Fighting Illini team this upcoming weekend, they lost their star defensive back, Xavier Scott, for possibly the rest of the season and definitely this next week against USC. It'll be very interesting to see how the Illinois coaching staff can adjust their secondary to guard this lethal passing offense with Jaden Mayava, Jacoby Lane, and Makai Lemon.
Absolutely. That's a tall order. Nia, what about yourself?
Trojans. They were kind of embarrassed last weekend, so this is their chance to put on a master class and put that physicality to the test against the Trojan team.
Despite the historically embarrassing loss, Illinois still presents a tough Big Ten challenge. Adam, what's it going to take to beat them?
Well, to sum it up, we have 3 keys to winning in Urbana-Champaign. First, USC needs to follow the blueprint that Indiana left for them last Saturday. Next, the Trojans need to stay disciplined as they currently average over 8 flags a game. They simply have to clean it up. And finally, the Trojans have to keep it rolling on the ground with the 2-headed monster of Wayman Jordan and Eli Sanders. Of those 3, Nolan, what do you think the Trojans need to focus on the most?
To me, it comes down to discipline, because I think offensively, defensively, even special teams, USC's the better squad. There's not much of a chance that they lose this game unless they lose it themselves. And the only way you do that, if you're the USC Trojans, you look at yourself, you've committed the most penalties in the Big Ten. You've given up the most penalty yardage by over 20 per game compared to second place in the Big Ten. The only way you're going to lose this game is if you can't control what you do on the field, and that's by giving up penalties.
That's a great point. Lincoln Riley has to emphasize that in the locker room. And Nia, how about you? Which point do you think is most important?
The Trojans must get it going in the run game. They need to utilize Wayman Jordan. He only had 157 yards last game and no touchdowns. He needs to be able to actually pair those yardage with some touches and get some scores up for the Trojans in order to get them another win in the Big Ten.
Yeah, that's a great point. It would be great to see Wayman Jordan touch pay dirt this upcoming Saturday in Urbana-Champaign.
The Trojans are ready to travel 2,000 miles across the country to do exactly what the Hoosiers did last weekend. It's time to meet the opponent. My player to watch is junior wide receiver Justin Bowick. You likely have never heard the name before, but I promise you it won't be good for the Trojans if you hear it on Saturday. Illinois quarterback Luke Altmaier rarely looks Bowick's way, but when he does, it's a tutty. Of his 8 catches through 3 games, he's caught a trio of touchdowns. Standing at 6'4", he's the optimal red zone threat. Imagine Jacoby Lane, but only when the offense isn't between the 20s.
While Illinois' offensive line has been struggling, senior Gabe Yakas has been a bright spot for the Fighting Illini. He ranks second in the Big Ten with sacks among returners with 8, leads the team in tackles. His physicality and elite passing rushing skills are sure to disrupt USC's high-powered offense.
Similar to Nolan, my player to watch on Illinois is also a wide receiver, but one who has showed out so far this season, sophomore Colin Dixon. Dixon has 10 receptions for 151 yards so far this season, adding on 2 touchdowns as well. He had a walk-in touchdown against Duke, but he stole the show early on against Indiana when he brought in a 59-yard touchdown to tie the game at 7. Coming off a loss, each and every one of these players will look to bounce back and defend their home turf on Saturday. But what about how the Trojans can succeed in this game? Liam Irvin has more on this week's X's and O's breakdown.
Welcome back to another week of X's and O's. I'm Liam Irvin. USC is off to a hot 4-0 start, and a lot of that can be credited to what I like to call the point guard of the offense, Jaden Mayava. Let's take a look at some mistakes from last year. First down right here, 2 wide receiver set. This is a play where USC is trying to take a shot. Mayava will pull the ball out, a play-action pass, and the read right here is off the safety. It's either Lemon or Lane. You're reading whether the safety crashes down or crashes over. In this situation, though, look at Mayava's eyes. His eyes are keyed in on Lemon the entire time. There is no shot that he can throw this ball to Lane unless he no-looks it. The safety picks up on it, and this is what Mayava did last year a lot of the time. Sticking to that one read, relying on something happening, and he tries to force it. DJ Mays interception for Texas A&M. Let's talk about the adjustment that he made this year. Another first down opportunity. You're going to try to take a shot right here again. 2 tight ends set, McCree and Lyons. One of these 2 is going to go into the pass coverage. Michigan State understands that well. King Miller's a decoy over here, and he got 2 receivers up top. Mayava will take the snap, fake the handoff, and his first read is to McCree right here, which you all can't see out of frame. McCree is double teamed. So what Mayava does, he has to adjust his read. He works right to left, and right here, he realizes that Makai Lemon is in single coverage downfield. That's what a good quarterback does. A true distributor works his way right to left. Mayava has plenty of time in the pocket, an empty pocket, good blocking from Lyons and company, and Mayava steps up and delivers a perfect strike downfield to Makai Lemon. I'll tell you what, folks, Mayava threw 4 games, 1,223 yards, 9 passing touchdowns, and 4 rushing touchdowns, similar to a Heisman winner we saw not too long ago. But what about the playmakers Mayava is getting the ball to? Terrence and Casey have more on Lemon and Lane.
Well, Liam, welcome to the pit, where today we're talking about the alpha wide receivers on this USC squad. The zesty one Liam just mentioned, Makai Lemon and Jacoby Lane. Though Lane was sidelined for the Trojans' last game against Michigan State, his season has been filled with highlights, with his yards increasing every single game he's played. When healthy, Lane is considered one of the best jump ball receivers in the country.
Despite having a deep receiver group already, USC hopes that Jacoby Lane will be ready for Saturday's trip to Illinois. But Makai Lemon has broken out in 2025. The junior wideout leads the Big Ten in receiving yards with 438 and is making a serious push for the Blitnikoff Award given to the most outstanding receiver in the nation. When life gives you lemons, your offense explodes for touchdowns. Lemon had a 40-yard receiving TD over the weekend and is now up to 4 scores through 4 games. His shifty footwork and stiff arm abilities have complemented Jacoby Lane's play, making the two one of the best duos in the country. Now, Lemon's stats stand out a bit more compared to Lane, but the 2 are often used in different situations. Whereas Jacoby is a consistent deep threat, Makai creates space in close before erupting for big gains. Now, Terrence, obviously these are both 2 great receivers. Who's wide receiver 1 at USC?
You know, I really do think it is Makai Lemon. I think you just kind of mentioned it. He's great at creating space. He is really great at that deep ball as well. He can create space off the line. Once he gets the ball, those yards after catch, he's phenomenal. I would argue he's one of, if not the best in the country at creating yards after contact, after catch, whatever you want to call it. I would say it's Makai because I believe he is the most versatile receiver USC has. Arguably one of the most versatile in the country. I think he is guaranteed a day 1 pick, which I think you might agree with as well. I know that there are points, this is a very deep team. That being said, I do think Makai is the best receiver in this team.
Well, yeah, I agree with you. My short answer is yes, he is the wide receiver 1, but I'd argue in a Lincoln Riley offense, there's so many tools in the toolbox that one guy isn't going to get all the love. There's going to be a lot spread around. We've seen Lake McCree get a lot of good receiving yards this season so far, as well as Walker Lyons. He's using those two tight ends. And, in previous years as well, there's kind of been that one guy who stands out, but plenty of other receiver depth to supplement the players that needed there.
So I do agree. That being said, I don't think there has been a talent at wide receiver. Of course, Lemon and Lane have been here the past couple of years, but I don't believe that anyone has really stood out in these last couple of years like Makai Lemon has this year. He was good last year. He was 760 yards and I want to say 6 touchdowns, if I'm not mistaken. This year, he is already on pace to hit around 1,200 yards and 12 touchdowns. I'm remembering everything correct. 12 total touchdowns. I think he is the clear alpha wide receiver one. I think you point to a Jordan Addison of the 2022 season. You weren't here for that, of course. You wouldn't know anything about that.
Well, of course, but think about the Purdue game. USC didn't have to rely on Makai Lemon in that game. Jacoby Lane was the guy who really stood out in that game. Makai Lemon was under 100 yards in that game, and they still won.
But I would like to counter that with Lane only had 3 receptions, all of his yards really coming from 2 deep balls. Not that that's a bad thing. Lane, I believe,
that's my point.
is clearly the number 2, and he's exceptionally talented. Lemon still had 5 receptions for 68 yards. That is in no way a bad game.
No, I didn't say it was.
Now, I'm a fantasy football guy. If he were to have that, and I play in a half-point PPR league, that would be around 10 points. Not a bad game at all.
Well, overall, great receivers overall. Lemon and Lane, or should I say lemonade? Now I'm getting thirsty. Anyways, next on Sports Scene. USC men's basketball is gearing up for Season 2 in the Big Ten. We break down Eric Musselman's latest additions. And USC men's water polo invites an international team to LA. Stick with us. We'll be right back.
From big-time upsets to growing pains after joining the Big Ten, Eric Musselman's first season as head coach for USC basketball was full of highs and lows. Musselman's Trojans had moments that were great, such as upsetting top 7 Michigan State here at Galen Center and a massive road win against Illinois. On the other hand, they finished with a losing record of 17-18 and fell far short of making the NCAA tournament last season. Musselman reloaded this offseason with 3 major transfers: forward Chad Baker-Mazara from Auburn, guard Rodney Rice from Maryland, and forward Ezra Usar from Utah. With an almost entirely new roster for this upcoming season, the Trojans have plenty to look forward to. With aspirations to return to their first Elite Eight since the days of Evan Mobley, USC basketball will begin their season November 3rd at Galen Center against Cal Poly.
The USC women's basketball team just released their Big Ten conference schedule. Iowa, Wisconsin, and UCLA are among the marquee matchups coming to Galen Center. Last year, the Trojans went 16-1 in the conference and entered March Madness as a 1 seed, showing strong performances even after superstar Juju Watkins got injured in the second round. USC's run ended in the Elite Eight, however. USC has been busy in the transfer portal, bringing in Kara Dunn, a 4-star from Georgia Tech, who averaged 15.5 points last season. London Jones joins the squad as a 3-point specialist, and Jazzy Davidson, who finished as the number 1 ranked player in the nation, is a notable incoming freshman. With great additions, USC certainly has the talent to make another very, very deep run this year, especially with Watkins possibly returning later into the season. Nia, what are your thoughts?
USC men's and women's basketball teams released their Big Ten conference schedules, and both are set for a competitive lineup this season. I'm really looking forward to this season. It's going to be very competitive, very highly touted. I'm looking forward to just all the aggressiveness that comes with the Galen Center and the 10 games on the road. This team will open up conference play on the road slate at Oregon December 2nd. After finishing this past season 12th in the Big Ten, the Trojans are a new transfer-heavy roster to lift them to better standings. The men's team, the roster is headlined by veteran forward Chad Baker-Mazara, who last season helped the Auburn Tigers reach the Final Four. On the women's side, USC earned 3 commitments from the nation's number 1 recruiting class in the past 4 recruiting classes, while number 23 number 1 player Juju Watkins is sidelined for this season with an ACL injury. 2025 number 1 Jazzy Davidson has joined the Troy and is primed to lift the team to another regular season championship. Women of Troy has some notable non-conference matchups against NC State, South Carolina, before diving into conference play at Nebraska on December 29th. Just 4 days later, however, they do face UCLA, their crosstown rival. While USC won the last 2 regular season matchups last season, the Bruins scrapped by the Trojans winning the Big Ten championship 72-67. That's a matchup that's definitely to watch out for. Coming up, we also have the SC top plays, where I break down the top plays from our Trojans this past week. We're starting at football, where you can see Jaden Mayava connect with the wide receiver Makai Lemon for a 40-yard dime into the end zone in the second quarter to extend the Trojans' lead to 10. Number 19, USC women's volleyball victory, California on Sunday. The Trojans routed the Bears 3-1. The freshman women of Troy have been dealing out double-doubles left and right, with opposite hitter Abigail Mullen recording 12 kills and 11 digs. Setter Reese Messer also dished out 43 assists and 12 digs. In the same game against Michigan State, Mile put on the footwork and mobility masterclass. You can see how elusive he is here around the defenders, and his quickness is getting his team a first down. Those are my top plays of the week. Let's go over to Nolan for water polo.
Thanks, Nia. Men's water polo is off to a hot 10-1 start and now gears up for an exhibition match against the Shanghai Water Polo Club today at 5 p.m. at the Utenzu Aquatic Center. The international team comes to the States from Shanghai, China. Here you can see how they fared against University of the Pacific yesterday. They lost 15-13, looking to bounce back against us tomorrow. USC men's water polo plays them at home before a very long away schedule heading into October. They play UOP as well on Friday, and later they'll be marching through teams, hoping UCLA, who's ranked number 1, bumps down for USC to claim the number 1 spot. But first, they'll take on Shanghai tonight at 5 p.m. A lot of exciting matchups for our Trojans. Nia, what are we looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to that Shanghai matchup, honestly. But thanks, Nolan. So we have a packed week ahead for the USC Athletics with an action in the pool, the court, and on the gridiron. Here's our 5-day forecast for USC sports. Wednesday, like you said, we have water polo versus Shanghai. Thursday, soccer versus Maryland. On Friday, we'll also have volleyball versus Penn State. Saturday, football versus Illinois. And on Sunday, soccer versus Rutgers. Definitely looking forward to seeing how the football team can add on to their Big Ten slate and win. That is it for the 5-day forecast. Plenty of action for the Trojans in the week ahead. Let's send it over to the Trojans for the week. Terrence and Casey, what do you guys have for us?
Well, thank you, Nia. It's time for the best time of the show. Trojan of the Week back for a 3rd season. We welcome you back to the pit as my rookie partner, Kai Cenat, immaturely showed last segment and isn't ready for round 2. That being said, my Trojan of the Week is Jasmine Koo. Right now, Koo and USC Women's Golf are competing at the Golf Week Red Sky Classic. Koo currently leads all competitors, sitting at -13, while through the first 2 rounds, USC as a team sits at -37.
Big Ten Freshman of the Week, Reese Messer, has helped USC women's volleyball earn 4 straight victories and a number 17 national ranking. The setter averaged over 11 assists across the Trojans' past 3 wins, is now up to 4 double-doubles, and tallied a career-high 5 blocks against Cal over the weekend. A truly dynamic player, Messer's connection with fellow freshman Abigail Mullen has made USC's attack formidable and versatile heading into conference play.
Well, Casey, I'll let you go first for this one. You are the rookie. I feel like I should give you a chance. So why is Reese the best choice?
Well, Reese Messer is putting up John Stockton level assist numbers right now. Yes, she is averaging almost 40 assists per game. And I talked about it. She can do everything. She's the only reason USC is scoring the numbers they are right now, because she's setting up Mullen. She's setting up WJ.
Are you aware that according to the USC women's volleyball website, on their game versus Cal, she had an attack percentage of -1.43?
Attack percentage is like looking at batting average in baseball.
-1.43.
It's not a...
That does sound pretty bad, doesn't it?
It's not a metric. Well,
but that
okay,
does sound
let's talk about
pretty bad.
Jasmine Koo, because I already talked about how great Reese Messer is.
Are you aware that USC women's golf is very close to setting the record for team lowest score at the Red Sky Classic?
Well, I'll tell you...
The record set in 2018 by UCLA, 32. They're sitting at -37.
Okay, look, I like your pick. Jasmine Koo's really good.
She leads all competitors.
Day 1 of that tournament, though, they got second out of all those teams. They didn't get first. They didn't win.
Who cares about day 1? We're in day 3. If
Yeah.
they can finish out today, which
It's a big if.
They will.
It's a big
It's
if.
not a big if. They're winning by 14 strokes.
Well, stuff can happen. I'm talking about stuff that already happened. And she won Big Ten Freshman of the Week.
Stuff is already happening right now. Big Ten Freshman of the Week, mediocre award, if you ask me.
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
Big Ten is a great volleyball conference.
How many kills did she have?
That's not her position. She's a setter.
Less than a lot of other
assists don't matter to you. She has 40 assists per game,
no,
nearly.
Mediocre, especially when her attack percentage less than.
She doesn't
negative?
attack that much.
Negative.
It's
How
like
is it
looking at batting average for a
How-
pitcher. That's the equivalent you're making right now. Attacking isn't her
Baseball
strong
was
suit.
better when there was pitchers consistently hitting. Other than
That's
Choate,
besides
of
the
course.
point.
Anyways, if we're talking about the overall player contributing to her team and the best team additionally, it's easily Jasmine
She's
Koo
getting
on the
40
USC women's
assists.
team.
Reese Messer is getting nearly 40 assists per game. 40 assists.
That's mediocre. Tell me who they were playing against. It was LSU and Cal,
yeah.
right? USC women's golf is playing against some of the best. LSU, one of those opponents, but they are dominating them. LSU and Cal were fine against USC women's volleyball. Against golf, they're even better.
USC only allowed one set. They conceded one set against
Mediocre.
LSU across 2 matches.
No, that's fine.
You can't tell me that isn't good. And Reese
Minus
Messer's a
37
freshman.
Minus 37. It's a record-breaking performance. That's not even close to Reese.
What year is Jasmine Koo?
She is a sophomore, if I'm not mistaken.
Reese Messer's a freshman. It's more impressive.
That doesn't matter.
It is more
That doesn't
impressive.
matter. No, it's not.
Well, at the end of the day, Terrence stuck to opinions. I stuck to facts. But it's all love between us at the end of the day. Coming up next on Sports Scene, though, Major League Baseball announced some major news about the future of the strike zone. We break down the new rules. Plus, Clayton Kershaw is hanging up his spikes after nearly 2 decades with the Dodgers. Don't go away. Sports Scene continues next.
Blue. The MLB just recently made a decision that will change the sport of baseball forever. We'll toss it to Nia to give us the details.
That's right, Adam. Following years of experimentation, the MLB confirmed on Tuesday afternoon that the ABS system has been confirmed for the 2026 season. ABS stands for Automated Ball Strike System and will essentially eliminate the human error element of the game. The system gives teams the opportunity to request a quick review of calls in a game they feel as though the umpire got the wrong call. Each team will start with 2 challenges, and using the Hawkeye view, the play will be transmitted over a 5G private network from T-Mobile and nearly instantaneously shown to those in attendance at the game via the video board and those at home via the broadcast. The ball strike system is either confirmed or denied, and the game will continue without little to no interruption. It's a big change, but I'm personally a fan. Taking it back to you, Adam.
Well, one of the greatest pitchers of all time is retiring. 3-time Cy Young winner Clayton Kershaw announced that his 18th season with the Dodgers will be his last.
I'm going to call it. I'm going to retire. We've talked about it a lot. Ellen and I have talked about it a lot. Kiddo's talked about it a lot, and I'm at peace with it. I think it's the right time. Yeah, I can't think of a better season to go out, and we still have a lot to accomplish, obviously, this month. And the last thing I want to do is be a distraction to anybody. For accomplishing our ultimate goal, to win in the last game of the season. So we're going to get through this today, and then we're going to go win the rest of the games and be good.
Growing up as a Dodger fan my whole life, I have always been a huge Clayton Kershaw fan. He is one of the GOATs of the sport to me. Nolan, what do you have to think about his decision to retire?
Yeah, well, I've got the exact opposite to say because I've grown up a Padres fan. So obviously I grew up for 18 years of my 22-year-old life hating him. Obviously, though, it's, a loss for baseball fans. You don't get to watch that amazing pitcher anymore. Obviously not producing at the same level he used to, but it's still impressive. 18 years and you're still producing at a relatively high level. It's great to see him go out when he's still producing at a higher level than most starting pitchers could ever dream of.
Yeah, when you say a relatively high level, he was an all-star this year. And while it was somewhat of a symbolic pick, he is still under a 4 ERA this season, and he has done absolutely amazing to keep the Dodgers in the playoff hunt and trying to win their division in the NL West. And while Clayton Kershaw is amazing, and no matter what your view of him is, Clayton Kershaw is a legend of the game of baseball, and he will find himself in Cooperstown very soon.
The USC Marching Band played a rather special concert on Sunday, performing in the bedroom of streaming sensation Kai Cenat. I don't even know what to say. I've never seen anything like that, a collegiate marching band performing on stream. What do you make of that?
Who else than the greatest marching band in the history of the universe to be on Kai Cenat, the most popular streamer at the moment, Mafia-thon, where he is having a huge success. He's having thousands of viewers every time you tune in. You go out and you get the greatest marching band in the history of the universe if you want a star guest. What did you think of their performance?
It was awesome. I've heard it at the Coliseum many times I wasn't watching the stream live. If I was, and I was a Kai Cenat fan, and I always watch a stream as a USC student, if I see them on there, I'm going absolutely ballistic. I mean, I never could have expected that.
And talk about the stream. The game ended almost at midnight Pacific time. They were there close to 2, 3 a.m. Pacific. They were up, giving the energy. You got to give respect to them. It is very late. They are just coming off an entire game of playing. After USC scored an abundance of points, they were playing a lot during that game. They get up and they make the trek to Kai Cenat's stream. You got to give it to them. They did a great job.
Well, they're not just coming off a game of playing and then they do that. They're getting ready to head over across the country, 2,000 miles. Yep. I mean, they're taking on almost as much, traveling and just overall. They're going to be tired.
Yeah.
I mean, talking about the football team, what about the band? They're performing at 3 in the morning on stream in front of, I don't know how many hundreds of thousands of people watching. That's impressive to me.
And they're doing the band dirty at Illinois, too. They've moved them from being in a front row section to all the way in the nosebleeds. Illinois has got to be scared of the presence that the greatest marching band in the history of the universe is going to give this upcoming Saturday.
Yeah, they were probably watching some film from that stream.
I'm sure they were.
The Trojans Marching Band has played on the Great Wall and in Rome, but this might have been their most interesting stage yet. Goodbye here from Sports Scene. I'm Nolan Ezett.
And I'm Adam Ukazoglu. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.